What's good, YouTube? It's Tavares, and we back with another video. As you can see from the title, how On makes spray-on sneakers in minutes. That's where we at right now. Let's get into it.
What if a running shoe could be made by a spray gun? That's the idea behind Light Spray, a new manufacturing technique created by Swiss sneaker company On. At its Zurich headquarters, with the help of robots, the top part of a sneaker is made in just 3 minutes, a fraction of the time it takes to create a traditional running shoe.
Swiss shoe company On, which is backed by Roger Federer, debuting a new sneaker technology. It's called Light Spray, and it is the talk of the town.
Bye-bye factory jobs. Bye-bye all the people who was making shoes. Look at this. We can't win. AI and technology coming for us all. We can't win, bruh. We don't want this, bruh. Go, bruh. But, at the end of the day, it's inevitable. These people want to line their pockets with as much money as possible. They want to get out product as fast as possible, and they want to just make $1. They want to sell it, ship it, get it out quickly. And so, if, these robots can make a shoe in, a fraction of the time that humans can make the shoe, then so be it. But man, the implications this gonna have on future generations in the job market, we already being affected right now in the job market, let alone the next 5-10 years. This is about to be an interesting future.
A traditional product is usually touched by approximately 200 hands, which is very, very different here. It allows us to produce an upper material in a completely automated way.
On is quickly gaining ground on legacy players like Nike and Adidas. Since going public in 2021, the company's net sales have grown in 11 out of the past 13 quarters. And On recently announced the opening of its first ever Light Spray factory in Switzerland.
So we're looking at the technology that first allows us to produce much, much closer to the consumer, because it significantly reduces the amount of labor that is needed in the process.
Analysts say innovations like Light Spray have given On a competitive edge. So how does it work?
Facts, bro. Like, he talking about one of his shoes used to touch at least 200 human hands. It's no telling, how fast they can churn out a shoe with this robot. They can literally make a shoe in no time, bro. Imagine you order a shoe. Imagine you order some Jordans through his company, right? And it's made within an hour of you ordering it. The same exact shoe, colorway, everything that you wanted. You probably put a special design in it, and the robot just say, here, go into the microwave, it cook it up for you, and then boom, here's your shoe. And you just designed this shoe like an hour ago. Bruh, it's cool. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and say that's not cool as hell, bro. That's cool. Like, that's dope as hell. But it just eradicates so many jobs. Because if one shoe touched 200 human hands in the process of making it, and now it's no telling how fast it takes to just get out one of these shoes that this robot is making. We don't need no humans making shoes no more. Now and if this company is one of the few companies that's doing it, every other company gonna catch on. You already know how that is. Every other company gonna want to pivot and say, oh, well, they make shoes in the fraction of the time. Well, Jordan can just say, let's make our shoes that way. Nike can just say, Adidas can just say, all of these other shoe companies can just now up and say, let's get some robots up in here. Let's try to make as many shoes as we can. And, let's push sales. Let's really push ad revenue for this. We got new robots creating shoes for us. We don't need these humans no more. These jobs we going to do layoffs and all of these. It's just bad, bruh. It's cool, but it's bad at the same time, because it's like all this technology and AI revolution stuff it's helping us, but it's also hurting us at the same time. Because if you remember the movie WALL-E, I'm pretty sure everybody watched the movie WALL-E. We all gonna be sitting around in scooters, riding around with a TV in front of our face, big and overweight, eating all day and just entertaining ourselves, because literally there's nothing for us to do because the robot's taking everything over. They're taking our jobs. They're becoming more productive than we are. They're doing everything for us. So what's the use case of humans anymore? What's the purpose of us going out, working, doing things if these robots are just going to slowly but surely do everything for us? Then where are humans? What is our attention going to be set on now? If all this hard labor, shoes, roads, bridges, cars, homes, if all of these things are being 3D printed, mass created by robots, warehouse jobs are functioning solely off of robots and all of these things. If all of these things are being taken over by technology, AI, and robots, where do humans come in at? What is going to be our purpose then?
From production to assembly, it takes about 200 steps to make a traditional sneaker. On says it can do it in just a handful.
So what we're seeing here is the On light spray technology.
First, a running sole is manufactured at On's lab and then attached to a foot mold. Next, a mile-long synthetic material called polymer is sprayed onto the mold, which is attached to a rotating robot arm. With no glue, seams, or laces, the material solidifies, and after just a few seconds, a shoe is formed. The shoe is then passed on to another robot.
And then what happens is the product moves over to kind of the screen printing facility, so to say, where the logo application is happening.
Launched in 2024, the Cloudboom Strike LS was On's first shoe featuring the light spray technology, weighing just 170 grams or about a third of a pound.
Oh my God, that's incredible. It feels like you're floating. It feels like you're floating.
The initial inspiration for light spray came after an employee saw a Halloween video featuring a hot glue gun creating a spider web. Today, the shoe sells for $330 in very limited release drops.
Look at that.
Early models have been worn by athletes like Hellen Obiri, who won the Boston Marathon in 2024 wearing the then unreleased light spray shoes.
What? But they look cool though. I ain't gonna lie. They do look cool. They look lightweight. Especially if you're a person who exercises, you run track, you run a lot, you get a lot of cardio in. These shoes look cool. It's just, are we gonna do anything anymore? Like, my God, bro, are we gonna do anything anymore? Like, we already getting lazier and lazier every generation. So you're telling me now everything is gonna be done by robots. So we can just sit back and live our lives and chill. Hopefully we can just travel the world now and you know, money can just not be a thing and we can just sit back and let these robots do everything for us. Cause literally that looks like where we're headed. Cause what in the world? Oh, goodness.
Shoemaking.
The whole manufacturing process is happening in a way more sustainable way. So we save roughly 75% of carbon emissions in the process itself.
On got its start 15 years ago. Now, almost a third of the 1,100 employees at its headquarters work in research and development. To ramp up production, the company is opening its first ever light spray factory in Zurich, with 4 additional robots.
What we want to be able to do is to bring it from a couple of thousand pairs to millions of pairs.
But to do that, On says its light spray technology will need to be leveraged to create more products, what the company describes as wearables.
And I think it's a way more automated process, so it allows us to produce where the consumer is. This is eventually, a possibility to bring production of the range to countries like the US.
So what they gonna do next? Spray on clothes? They probably already got that in the works. Everything that we think about, bro, they already in the process of doing it. But this reminds me of like Black Panther or one of the Marvel movies where they got spray on shoes, spray on clothes and all of that. Technology creating the clothes out of thin air. That's what that looks like. This is crazy. That's the end of the video, but that's crazy. Crazy. Less hands are are creating this shoe. So that means less people are needed to be in the little assembly line, putting the shoe together, you know, doing things on it, working on it. And now this technology can just twirl this shoe around, spray some stuff on, and boom, you got a ready to go shoe. Automation, faster, AI, technology, that's where we at. Man, y'all sound off in the comments. Tell me what y'all think about this stuff. I don't know. Sometimes I'm conflicted looking at these videos, but let me know what y'all think. It's been real. It's Tavares. See y'all in the next video.